There we go. Get that set. All right. There we go. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with teaching it, in fact, also. And so I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner myself. I spend a lot of time at the lathe, but I want to be the best turner I can possibly be. And that is the secret sauce that I tell everybody. Is say, what's the secret? The secret is practice. You got to be behind the wheel, right? So anyway, I thought I'd start a little bit early, just for the heck of it. And I started this. This is a twice turned bowl, box elder. I turned and finished the outside just before the end of the broadcast. So I figured I'd finish it off tonight and then start working on some other things. Let's see, glasses down. I think I will take that light. Thank you. Set that aside. Okay, so we'll go with the bowl gouge here. Now I need to get it to its final thickness and finish off the hollowing of this dude. We wanted to round this corner eventually. We'll get that started. I did forget. I don't want to leave the rim the way it is. We're still gonna clear. So I want to cut in the direction that I have support, right? Grain support. So when I'm doing stuff like this, normally I'll cut half through, maybe 2/3 of the way through, then I'll come at it from the other side. So I'm always cutting with support to that last little bit that's somewhere on the surface up there, but it leaves a really nice finish. And I think I'm gonna take it in. Well, no, I've got two natural edges here. I think I'm gonna leave them. I don't know that they'll be obvious, but we'll find out. See, I think I gotta make sure here because I had some splitting going on. There's some right there, so I gotta take that down. bit more. That is I may wind up losing the rim, but so be it. Actually, what I can do, I don't like to do that. I could fill that and then glue it. I've got. Well, let's see what it'll look like. What the heck, man? Let's see what it'll look like. I keep different color sawdust when I'm doing sanding different woods for moments like this where I need to fill a small crack. And I want a specific color other than brown or black. So I'm going to step inside. I'm going to grab the thin CA glue here and the accelerant. Bring that to the party. And I also have brass shavings too. I went to a key maker. Actually, I went to Ace Hardware, and then I thought I had that straw still there. Ace Hardware and let's see, Lowe's, where they make keys. And I asked them if what they did with their brass shavings when they make the keys, and I was told at both places they throw it away. Like, you don't even try to recover any money from it or anything? And they said, no, we just toss it out. So I said, well, can I have it? I'm a wood turner. And I got a really good quantity of it. I guess I need to get a new straw. A really good quantity of it. And I had so much I wound up sharing a bunch of it with the turning club here. And that was what, I don't know, maybe 2016. I started playing around with using brass shavings to fill cracks and voids, small voids. That'll work. And I still have a lot. I gave about half of it away. I still have a lot. So that's an option. If you have any interest in doing something like that, you can get brass shavings for free. Oh, that's right, these scissors are terrible. Yes, they are. Time to get rid of those. Let's try these. Ah, much better. Oh, that's not long enough. So what I like to do is I bought a package of straws, I think at the dollar store. Just regular plastic straws. No bendy straws or anything like that, just regular straws. And when I need a small scoop, I just grab it out. So I haven't had to get a new straw in a long, long time. I have the package. I probably have taken 5 straws out of this package the whole time I've had it in the drawer. Because I try to keep track of the ones that I'm using. So you buy a package of straws, that's going to last a long time, unless you got kids and whatnot. People who like to use a lot of straws. I don't use them at home. So just trying to shape this guy a little bit better than what I've got so far. And really, I'm just working with garbage scissors. They were good for a little while. I mostly use cheap kitchen shears like that for cutting up sandpaper. Which, of course, decreases their longevity, but they're cheaply made and they're like $2 a piece to begin with. So it was a better option than buying really good kitchen or really good scissors for something like that. I guess I could set up a little hacksaw blade and just kind of cut my sandpaper that way. But I don't cut a lot. I don't do it a lot because a lot of the sanding, the abrasive stuff I use is Velcro backed paper, or well, it's actually oh heck, I'm trying to remember this stuff. The mylar back. And they last quite a while, but I don't have to cut those at all. Let's see, I know I had my hands on the red. There we are. So I've got my little scooper there. And I don't need much, but that's why, I've got, so I can reach all the way down into the bottom of an old vitamin jar or something. Delusions of grandeur, that's probably why I never know how much of, I guess, a particular color timber I'm going to be playing with at the lathe. And so I just keep these larger little jars in case I do a bunch of stuff at once. And I want to save all of that. Looking for a brush. There we go. I want to save all of that sawdust for later for coloring cracks and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm trying to save that. Maybe I can get it off into here. Not this much to save. And how I normally do these, let's get a piece of a little bit of paper towel here. Is I'll hit it with a little CA glue. Actually, what I really want to do is blow off around it. Hit it with a little bit of CA glue. That was too much. So I'll dab it. And depending on the void, I'll pack it a few times. And sometimes, well, often, once I got a good idea that's fairly well packed, I'll run CA glue down into it until I have CA glue standing on the surface. So I know that it's pretty much all soaked in. Paper towel, paper towel. Let's try a little bit more. Stand dry. just kind of tap it in over the top of the, where the glue hasn't set yet. Still wet, I guess, would be a terminology. It's not. Okay. Then I can get rid of all this stuff. So I will actually hit that one more time with the CA glue, just to make sure. And I'll blot what is sitting on the surface. We'll set it. Alright, by the time I get back from putting this stuff away, that should have had plenty of time to set. Because I don't want to make the rim too thin. At least, I don't, like super thin. At least on this piece, it's, in theory, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Who knows? I might dye it. It does have a little bit of figure in it, so that might be fun.
Hey, Dave.
Hey.
What are we up to tonight?
How's it going, man? I'm working on a twice turning bowl that I started last night, and then got some handles I want to turn, so I get to play with the skew for a while. Let me put that straw away. I just got done filling. This is a piece of box elder. Had a little bit of that red coloring in it at a place that was split a little bit. It's box elder. It does that. But it's a very, very tiny crack, and I figure I'll just see if putting red sawdust, because I save different color sawdusts from different woods that I turn. I've got yellow. I even save bone, because I turn bone every now and then. Save all those shavings, and then use them to fill cracks or I don't know what I want to call them, troughs, but little coves, just fill little features in. I got the outside turned, and now I'm just going for finished thickness. That cleaned it off pretty nicely. Yeah, it did. All right, cool. And I think that's the thickness I want to go with. Anyway, this piece of wood came from a tree in Traverse City. It was dying. The guy was taken out of his yard. Joe, I don't know how Joe got hold of the yard, how he got hold of Joe, or if it was still when Joe was doing his yard work stuff, so maybe that way, I'm not sure. But anyway, Joe told me about it. We went and helped the guy take the thing down, and we were able to save some of the wood. Some of it wasn't worth saving. So we were able to save some of it, and this is a piece that I turned green with the intention of turning it as a twice turn bowl. And golly, man, that would have been over a year ago. So this has been sitting on the drying rack for a year. Check something out here. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Cool. I'm still going in stages because it's box elder, it's a softer wood. It's gonna eventually start to flex. Yeah, that's a good thickness there. So what you been up to, man? What you turning lately? What you know? No backups? Yeah. Yeah, do have audio. Okay. So that's pretty even. All right, whip out the high-tech depth measuring device. I'm right at the bottom. Awesome. Not a lot. fairly smooth. It's very nice. Just a tiny bit of nub right there. Now it's gone. All right, cool. So let's see. Let's throw the mask on. I want to sand that part of the rim. All right, mask is on. Glass is on. And I'm sanding using the same idea. I want to sand with support of the grain. So working on this edge to roll that over, chamfer it a little bit. I'll go about halfway. And then when I'm rolling this side over, go about halfway. Then I can clean up that middle, and it's really makes it a lot faster. And a lot neater. It really gets that to spinning.
co-fi.com
Okay.
/HIIMDAVE question left equals Twitch.
Let's see. I think I'll grab this guy. And I'll use this one. There we go. Beautimous. Alright, so all I need to do now is flip this guy around and finish off the foot. Since I got a third hand in this chuck here, alright. So now right where my foot needs to go. And hey, I don't have to wear the mask because I'm not sanding. Let's see, I want a different, yeah, I can round the edge over on that, I think. Although that's going to wind up putting a dent in the bottom. We'll use a regular size guy. So I'm going to flip this around and use a glue block as a jam chuck, but have this piece of leather between, basically using it as a friction drive. So I can take this guy out. Oh, move him. That's assuming this is going to be tall enough. Yes. Oopsie Daisy. Bring up the tailstock. You know, that's a nice, it's really, really fine sawdust. I'm going to swipe this and put it in my, we'll figure out which color. Let me take a look here. We're going to save that since it will fill really tiny cracks nicely. Let's see, that's bark. What is this guy? Pink. Not into the bone. Where's my white? Time to get a new jar. I have misplaced. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I don't really think I want to mix it with. Oh, that's pink anyway. Where's the bone? Let's compare and contrast. Because this will also help the bone. It's a little darker than I want. Huh. Well, let me grab a small little, maybe a piece of paper or something, just to put that on. I do want to say that I'm looking for. Yeah, let's use this guy. Why not? Anyway, case in point, this is what I do when I find I'm working with wood and I get really nice sawdust stuff that I can use that to fill a crack with color. I've got another empty spice jar or spice little thing here. I'll just have to wipe that out and I'll put that in later. All right. So let's get this guy running true. I suppose I could have left that tenon on there. But this is box elder. It's very, very soft. Bummer, I'm going to sand that again. It's very, very soft, and the grain in the tenon is running perpendicular to the way it's on the bed, so it's really, really a weak spot. It's close. Too far, but we'll check. Nope, it's running through. True enough. Alright, so I only want enough pressure with that leather that I can't move it like I just did. Too easy. It would help if I tighten down the tailstock. Okay, check again. That's running through enough. I don't want them to leave any marks in the bottom. Hopefully this won't. And I don't need to take real heavy cuts anyway. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a mark in the bottom. Alright, so I gotta figure out my foot situation here. I think I'm gonna take it into this and use this as a foot. It's a little bit smaller. A little bit of shoe stroke in there. And then I'll run the sander over that. Okay, so let's finish this down. And the foot is a little bit thicker than the rim, so I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Check to make sure I'm good and concave. I can do a little bit more there. But I will use this guy. Where you at? Where you at? There you are. So a little bit of detail. Double check my it's going to sit on there. Yep, it's going to sit right on the outer rim. This is about ready. Part off, but I want to sand that portion here really quick. Get this out of the way. Grab the mask. Masco. And the orbital sander. That'll do. Alright, let's cut this tenon. I like using the flush cut saws for stuff like this because this is really soft wood, and if I hit it with the teeth of the saw, it's going to mark it up. So I can bend the blade a wee bit and avoid that. Let's see, yep, there's a little bit, but that isn't too terrible. I should be able to sand that out real quick by hand, but there's a little bit of a varnish mark in the bottom. Doggone it. Okay. Let's move this guy aside. Start up the compressor. Alright, set you somewhere. There you are. So be careful, as I said, using jam chucks on the softer wood. Fortunately, this isn't bad, but it could have been. So that's a little bit more I can get right there. Grab a little bit of 220 here. I'm going to clean off this glue mark. That I unfortunately did not see. There we go. Alright, groovy. Not too hard. tenon. Sand it to 220 like the rest. And there we go. Box it, so we filled in the crack pretty nicely. Kind of a mixture between brown and red, I guess. I like the creamy color of box elder. But again, it's one of the softer woods to work, so it has its own issues. Okay, set that guy aside. Turn off the compressor. And I think I was setting myself up to do some handles. Get to play with the skew a little bit, or a lot actually. Let's see, I guess I better use this guy. Although it does seem like it's a little long, but I'd have to move the shorter one for each piece, so let's not do that. All right, let's see. I think I need to be a little bit taller with this tool rest. Might be all right. Forgot to set myself up with a caliper. Let's see. Let's do that. Alrighty now. Yeah, let's bring this guy. Alright. So that's a little too thick. Still be a little too thick. Let's see, I probably should take that down just a bit too. Yeah, that'll work. Paranoid Squad says you looks like you're getting a handle on things. Oh dear. No pun intended, right? Looking Navy guys, I don't know. Hey, thanks for sending that picture, by the way, too, man. That's cool that they got a clean cup there at least working. There we go. In theory, I ought to be able to. Well, maybe not. Let's see it that way. There we go. Oh, I don't want to have to keep you moving that. Let's see. Nice, nice. So they're at least getting it ready. I don't know if you saw any eggs in it. Oh man. Yeah, I missed the spot. There we go. All right, that's one down. Yeah, that's a good fit. That'll work. Oh, another piece of ash.
Paranoid Squatch said, hard from the angle, but I'll look closer at it. Looks like there are a few on the frame.
Okay, very nice. All right, that's one down. Let's see. Very, very nice. I was out the hives yesterday, and one of the nukes did not make a queen, so I had to give him. Actually, I wound up having a queen cell I could give him, so I gave him that. Why am I doing that? After I was in there, I should have done that. How's it go? Groovy. Actually, I think I should probably, maybe 220 is overkill. Let's see. I'm going to try, let's try out some 180 here. Let's see, is that what this is? Nope. 180. I don't know. 220 might be overkill. Let's take a look. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. Yeah, 220 was a little bit overkill. All right. So we'll go with 180. Yeah, that's a nice shape. Let's see what's next in the lineup. How about some honey locust? Ooh, excuse me. Guess I better put on a mask. So let's do that. Looks like I'm going to be sanding every hand, or running some grit across the handles here. So 2. Let's just set you right there. Let's see, let's give it a little bit more curve. Cool that dude off. Come on. Cool beans. Oh man. I guess I should probably put a washer here. Yep. Because it has screwed itself on really tightly. Oops. Did not mean to drop that. You probably tell I used a the magnet lot. I need to go buy another key tomorrow. The one I had, I don't know, man, it bounced on the floor and then it was gone. I'm like, what the heck? Can't find it. Okay, so that dude is done. You'll be next. I need a washer for that. Think I have just the one. Well, if I don't lose it in the shavings anyway. There we go. Oh, come on. It's just ever so tiny smaller. Come on, you can't be smaller. It's supposed to be a 3/8 inch washer. Alright, let's see what I got. That's not it. Wait, that might be it. They were down in here, but let's try this guy. Okay. So it was screwing itself on there really tight, but it was the teeth of the jaws that were going into the wood. And that really tightened her up. I think I'll go a little bit higher. Lovely fish. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Actually, well, it depends. Like if you buy just, you can buy just the steel. Um, this one was not. This one was a handled piece that I took the handle off of, so I could use this. But yeah, I usually buy my steel unhandled. I like turning my own handles. So we got some bug stuff happening there in this cherry. That's pretty cool, actually. I think. Let's see. And why not on that here? But yeah, I mean, sure. I've turned. Well, I mean, I've turned a lot of handles. Actually, it's both for myself and for other people. Turned quite a few for Lyle Jamison. I think actually that's where I got my first the making handle. I was working at Rob Henson in his shop studio. Um, and it's a contract for me to turn. I mean, it saved this company some money, but it made me some money. So it's like, yeah, cool, okay, yeah, I'd love to. So that was my first foray into it. Plus, it was cheaper to turn them than it was to buy them. The price just what he was paying at the time. But I'm really good, and I did a couple times after that too. But I really did appreciate getting that practice, that opportunity. I think it's about the time too that I was really starting to get into the skew. I think that was one of the things behind it too. Is I was just getting into the skew, like really, really getting into it. Yeah, that's not a bad handle. So turning handles was not a terrible thing. Just had to get all the dimensions right. I mean, 18.5 inch long handles. Drilling for the 5/8. Bowl gouge and spindle gouge if somebody bought them handled, and set those in the handles too. Yeah. why I think this skew is indispensable, because what it's designed for, it does really well. I watched a couple of videos of there's a company in Russia that makes some nesting dolls, and in this company, the turners are women. There's men there doing packaging techniques, getting blah blah blah, but the women do all the turning, and they have these really interesting lathe knives that they turn these things with. So I really like to someday get my hand on one of those, learn how to use it, because it looks like it's very much a blend of traditional carving tools, hand carving tools, adapted with lathe. It's just a knife. I mean, this is a knife edge. This is basically a knife too, but it's actually a knife on a handle. It's really nice. They do really nice turning with it. I just would like to check that out and maybe learn how to use one. But no, not the skewed. This handle is made out of cedar, even softer than box elder, but it'd be strong enough for a kiddish handle. And the cedar, I think I'll probably just finish that in hemp oil or teak oil, or not teak oil. I don't know if I have any. Hemp oil or a couple of these I might uh, might do some boiled linseed oil. That'll be a nice hue to add to the wood and add longevity to it. And hemp oil will give it kind of a green tint, so I'll do some of that too on some other pieces. And then for some reason I'm forgetting the other, not walnut oil, the walnut oil would work. There's another oil that I cannot, for the life of me, bring to mind the name of, that I've used a lot, but it's a oil that's pressed from a nut that grows in China. So, and I buy the actual the actual squeezed nut oil, I guess you could say, as opposed to what gets sold here in the United States under the same name, which has a lot of petroleum products mixed in with it. The name will come to me eventually. The walnut oil will be doing for some of these. Alright, here's another one. Come on. Ooh, hefty maple. Bark inclusion. Well, we are not gonna do a peel and cut on this dude. You know, I bet that I took it just a little too high. There we go. So, no peel and cut for this guy. And just using the point of the tool to take my diameter down. You can tell that, by the way, that it's flowering up or it's curling up. So I'm using the point. Yep, got that bark inclusion all the way through there. So I'm going to say that was a good call, because I think peel and cut would have just split that right open. Nope. We're not done yet. Alright, let's see. time to hone this guy. Caught a little bit of the washer on the heel corner. There we go. My preference is, well, I mean, I want to have sharp tools, but my preference with the skew is that if I touch it to my fingernail and try to pull my fingernail away and it doesn't, or it wants to peel up some of that keratin, then I've got a good edge. There's all kinds of figure in this piece of maple. Let's see, I guess I'll peel this and cut this and slice, I guess would be the right word. Slice. Alright. There we go. Let's burn some lines in that. Where'd you go? There you are. Turn that up a little bit. Right now it's just a few random scratches on the surface because I decided to keep using dull sandpaper. Don't do that, it makes more work. Bye-bye. So there's that bark inclusion. So I got rid of most of it, I guess, just turning the handle, but doing a peel and cut with that, if the edge caught right in there, it would have just split it wide open and I'd have lost some handle material. Let's see. Do I need to sand that? Yeah, a little bit. There we go. There's another one. This is going along pretty well. I'm liking this. Alright. But this is a result of doing all this prep work beforehand. And I thought this might be an interesting handle. I can use a peel and cut on parts of it, but not right in there, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I better do peel and cut right there. Whoops. Yes, brother. Yeah. Got a spiral. Yep. Let's see. I think I'll just make this one just a straight handle with no real embellishment, you know. little. Oh, that's beech. Oh, cool. All right. So this was a piece of. I know where this came from. This came from a handle job I did for Lyle Jameson. He used beech for his handles. And this was a piece that wouldn't have been good for a handle for a turning tool. It was pretty sure someday he would still make a pretty good handle. Beech is pretty hard wood. You go on around and run that over. Not another spiral cut. Not too much of the edge on the timber. It cleaned up real nice. It does have some. This is the kind of stuff you don't want in a turning tool handle. If you get a catch or whatever, that could split the handle, but it's not going to happen with a kitchen implement unless somebody smacks somebody else with it. Looks pretty good. Just a little bit. There's a sanding mark right there. That I don't mind doing because that's not cutting it off. I'm actually cutting through the fiber with the fuse. Well, it may look similar. not the same. Yeah, that's a nice handle too. Alright, what's next? Whoops. Another piece of cedar, it seems. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't hear the voice thing ask the question about is it cheaper or better tools for less? Well, as far as buying your tools with a handle or without, and yes, in most cases it's less expensive because you're talking more about when you're talking unhandled tools. It's more usually like Robert Sorby. I don't think they sell theirs unhandled at all. The Thompson tools, there's a couple other tool makers that they just make the tool steel and then you turn the handle. So in a way, yes, if you have to buy a handle along with the tool, when you're buying a better quality steel, like this skew was unhandled, I turned the handle for it. So yes and no. I mean, you can buy less expensive tools with handles already attached. You get what you pay for. But I will say Hurricane turning tools, in my opinion, are decent steel for a budget. Those are some of the tools I've used over the years. Mostly, let's see, I bought one skew from Hurricane turning tools. Still have it. The steel is really, really lasting a while. This spindle gouge was less expensive than, say, a Thompson tool 3/8 spindle gouge. But I didn't know if I was going to keep one in my toolkit if it was a size that I would use very often. So I purchased the Hurricane turning tools uh, spindle gouge, had the handle on it, cut the handle off, and am using it in this quick change. So yeah, when you're buying, I don't want to call them premium, but they might as well be because you start spending more money for tools when you get to that tier or whatever, and so it can be less expensive. And you don't need a skew to turn a handle. It sure helps, man. Once you get comfortable with it, anyway, the skew can be intimidating. I mean, it was for me at first. You can turn handle from any other tool. Turned quite a few handles with just a bowl gouge, quite a few handles with just a spindle gouge. It doesn't really matter. But as I repeat, because I know I'm repeating it, the skew, for what it's designed for, excels. And so if you can get comfortable with the skew, you can really knock out some spindle work. Yeah. Not any different than any other tool, but I rarely have to reach for, it depends on what I'm turning, but I rarely have to reach for another tool. Maybe I can turn beads with the skew, you know. All three shapes with the skew, or all three cuts, I rather should say, or well, let me put it this way, all three shapes. Straight line, a V, and a rounded surface, a sphere. Those are the three basic cuts: a curve, a straight line, and a V. And then whatever you use the tool, whichever tool you're using, will dictate. Like a bow gouge, just kind of. I mean, you can turn a V groove. It's going to be really wide though, because the bow gouge, the way the geometry of the bow gouge. You can do a better one with the spindle gouge because your diameter or the geometry of the spindle gouge. Then you compare that to the geometry of a skew. Let's see, let's take that down some more. Right in there. Well, clearly it's not the right tool for everything. But the spindle work, I think it's amazing. Definitely one you got to practice with, that's for sure. Definitely got to practice with the skew. And even, Turner's been doing this for a long, long time. Still makes design changes with the skew. Just like beginners, maybe not the same type of design change, but it happens. Never gonna go away. We're human beings, we can lose concentration. There's just so much that can happen. So, as you saw, I got a couple of spiral catches here because I got too much of the tool in contact uphill of the cut I was making, and so that wanted to pull me out. And that's what causes a spiral catch. Let's see, I think I want to take this bit down a little bit more. It happens even to the so-called expert pros, and if they're honest, they'll tell you. I mean, it happens to me. I'm not saying I'm a pro or whatever that definition is. I don't know, but I will say that the times that it happens now are a lot further and fewer between than they used to be. Because I applied my secret sauce to the whole thing, that being practice. I like giving demos on the skew too, like all the different ways you can use it. Because it is more versatile than it seems. Yeah, let's see, I might have a few stray sanding marks on this cedar. There's one. Or a few. So we'll just sand. There we go. I think that's about got it. Yeah. Oh, no, a little bit right there. This cedar, I'll use hemp oil on it. That'll give it a nice color. Come on. Ooh. Curious, this should be the right size, yes. Oh, here's an interesting piece of maple. I don't know that the spalting will... We'll find out if there's going to be any spalting on the handle itself. This is all further out from the finished diameter. Oops. That's why we check to make sure everything's going to clear. What's that? That's a split. All the way down the length. Alright, so this guy... Oh, that's going to come off anyway. That's almost to punky stage, so... got here? Oh, there's a little spalting in it. At least here, anyway. Okay, we're down to that. Always checking my skew edge to make sure it doesn't have any burr on it. Sometimes the edge can get rolled over. Oh, what the heck? Let's do that. I'll show you. I've got this running through my brain. Ball gouge. And this is exactly the same action that the skew does. I'm at essentially 45 degrees. It's in that ballpark. Really not. Doesn't matter what tool you use. Find one, practice it. Before you move on to another. Do the same thing. Like I said, it doesn't matter what tool you use. If all you have is scrapers, you can scrape a handle. People do it all over the world. Doesn't make you a bad turner. I allowed myself to be influenced by other turners who look down on the use of scrapers because Well, they're just scraping the wood. They're not cutting it. But they've never themselves used a scraper, or perhaps gotten really good with it. Scraper is also very, especially negative very scraper, very versatile tool. That's right. And tipping that tool up on edge, touching that burr at a really acute angle. You can get a really sheer cut. I think I like that. Ah, darn it. Not rotating the tool handle fast enough. I think I got all of that out of there. That's a really nice piece of maple. Man. Yeah. I think this is a piece of rock maple. Which means it's probably going to be how good we can. We'll see. Maybe not. Well, it's definitely wearing down the abrasives really fast. So I'm going to say, yeah, this is taking a little bit to sand there. Unfortunately, not too much. There we go. That's going to be a pretty piece of wood. Do I want to burn? Yeah, I'm going to burn. Whoopsie daisy. So, a little bit of spalting. Cool. All right, how about this guy? What are you? Piece of cherry. Use on time. Huh, how about 10:15? That's not bad. So let's take a look at this guy. Looks like I've got a split happening here. Yep. So we're not going to do a peel and cut with this guy. I will do though. Oh, this is going to clear. And we'll see how much of that is actually going to be in the handle. Split some of it off. See where we're at now. So most of that, in theory, will disappear. Just a little bit left, but I'm at just about at the diameter I want to be. Okay, this one will be. Let's take a look and see what we got for. Got some really nice figures throughout this. So. Which way do you want to be cut? Okay. And I suppose this side wants to be cut this way. So the green definitely changes. Okay, I think that is a decent size. See. Let's make this one. little bit different. Whoops. That's a good size. All right, so that right there might be an issue. So we're going to fill that in. All right, let's see. I think I put all that, yep, inside. Okay. Set you right there. Just happen to have some really fine sawdust right there. Now I can set these back inside actually. Get on time, 10:30. Cool. Not bad. Nice. Okay. It's got some nice figure in it. And that gets finished and buffed. Oh. Let's see, maybe. Maybe I want to fill this in too. And of course I put everything inside. Okay. I'll set that over there. Ooh, there's a bunch. Alright, this time I'm not going to carry it all the way inside. I'll set it right by the door. Lovely. Alright. Let's get rid of that end. That'd be a pretty handle. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm really kicking through these. I don't have. I got 4 left for this batch. All right, let's go with this. Very soft don't know, I think this is maple. Yeah, well, I don't know. That might be elm, actually. Might be. So for those of you that are lurking out there, I appreciate the support. The lurking is still watching, still supporting the channel, so thank you. just lost in the action of the screw, so I'm really paying attention, just watching the savings come off of it, which is why I'm not really saying much, just kind of hypnotized. That's a good shape. So we got some really nice spalting going on with this piece of elm. Is that a split? Ooh, it might be a split, but it's at the end of the handle. Yeah, like they say, kind of like club. A little bit of abrasive left that's worth using, which is perfect because I really didn't need to. All right, let's remove this. That's the wrong tool. Yeah, that's a nice looking handle. All right, let's see. How about this guy? All right, so this one's a little bit longer. that. I'm gonna hold my skew one more time for this. This will probably be the last one this evening on the live broadcast anyway. So yeah, it needs a little. Oh, okay, not so much on that side. So. Okay, that put a better edge on it. Now let's polish that edge. Okay. Well, there we go. Now, let's see what this piece of maple might want to show us. It's a nice timber here. Oh yeah, That's really taking a nice burnish off the tool too. Let's see, I'm going to save that. And you are back here. Okay, a little bit more here. That is, it's a longer handle, so I'm not sure. Let's see, about an inch longer. Well, let's keep working with the shape. Something like that. And then, I think that'll be, it's just a little bit longer, but I think it will be a lovely handle. Oh, nailed it. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Let's see. A little bit of a kind of teardrop shape. We'll get to you in a minute there, boss. Okay, first thing is this end. Okay. Yeah, working with dull sandpaper. Terrible. Oh man, that's a pretty handle. I really don't even have to do much to it. Not that I had to do much to most of them. All right, we'll call that a done deal. Let's get rid of that tenon. Awesome. Assuming I can get it off of here. There we go. Very cool. All right, so I've got basically 2 more to turn. That worked out really well. And I can whip those out later or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Maybe later. I don't know. We'll see what the night brings. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up now. Let's turn that off. And we'll turn that off. All right. So, had a really good night. This is really cool. I've got had basically a little production run of handles to turn. I got 2 more on that run. So it was nice to be able to just sit back and play with the skew. I enjoy those times because again, it's practice, and the skew can be intimidating. Definitely takes time to master. I don't know that I've mastered it. I'm not saying that. I'm sure there's more I could learn. I've only just really scratching the surface of wood turning in general anyway. What I know about wood turning could probably fill that much. But it's a lot. There's still a lot of stuff in that much that covers a wide gamut of things. And the wood turning world is huge, ginormous. There is plenty of room for everybody in every perspective, every style of wood turning, whatever. There's a lot. Some things I probably can't even imagine. There's just so many things that can be done with it. So I hope this broadcast, these educational kind of fun broadcast, inspire you to go out to your lathe if you have one and practice, turn some stuff, turn some handles. Play it. Maybe it'll be your chance to practice this with the skew. Why not? Go for it. Learn what you can learn from every tool that you've got. Make them, I mean, they're every single tool in the tool bag, I guess you could say, is a lot more versatile than people think. Bowl gouge, people think, oh, I'm only going to cut, I'm only going to turn bowls. There's only so many things to do with a bowl gouge. Well, yeah, but those so many things are a lot, and there's a lot of things you can do with the bowl gouge or a skew, or I mean any of them. You could turn with a parting tool. I mean, they kind of do over in France. They call it a badan. It's a little bit wider, but definitely another tool. I've gotten some. I've got my
That
feet
is,
wet with it.
said, the thing I need to do is start to leave work early so I can catch your stream. Kofi stream bot, said, visit Big
Good to
Red,
see you,
build that
Habitus.
my page ad.
Catch the
https
one
colon
next week.
slash
Yeah,
slash
please. I hope so. It's every Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time.
That is,
Hopefully, you
said,
can.
maybe I will catch the one next week.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you again out there, man. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. I had to blow my schnoz. Anyway, for all of you that joined me this evening, thank you very much. As if you've got the channel on in the background, you're still watching, and that is support. I appreciate it. I hope that you find value in what you're seeing here, and you follow and subscribe. Consider a subscription. That helps me improve the channel. I'm always working to improve the channel, just pretty much as I'm trying. Well, okay, maybe I'm trying to improve my wood turning a lot more than I am the channel. I don't know. It's kind of one of those, but I'm always trying to improve the channel. I'd like to get some more cameras set up. I do have a new. It seems I've got a new laptop in my future, so that'll be fun too. Probably will be a Windows machine, and I haven't been on a Windows machine in. Wow, 20 years. I think Windows 2000 XP. I don't know if it was XP. XP was after. I think Windows XP was my favorite. Although Windows 3.1 was also really good. That was a long time ago. Windows 3 was excellent. XP I always thought was really excellent too. I don't know what they're up to now, but looks like I might have a new computer in my future. We'll see how soon that might be. Right now I've been working with a Mac.
That is, said, you a Mac guy?
Yeah, I have been a Mac guy for a while. Ever since I started going to college for industrial instrumentation.
That is, said,
Well, it ain't forever, man. This is a 2011 model, so it's going to go soon. I'll have to relearn Windows, that's for sure. But I guess maybe it's like riding a bike. Maybe I don't know how much Windows has changed. I know Mac OS has changed a lot since I started using a Mac, which was in 2011 when I picked this one up. I never went back to Windows because it was just so much more intuitive. But now, uh, it's a financial thing,
said,
right?
I will give them credit. Mac hardware just keeps running.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it's got me through this far. Just needs to get me through a little bit longer. Anyway, having said that, I'm going to wrap it up. I shall be back again next Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you stay friendly, folks. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you again. Take care. Really great to see you again, Abaddis. Hope to see you next week, too, man.